Welcome to Modern Musings, conversations with the maiden, mother, and crone, where we look at ourselves and the world through the lens of the 21st century. Hi, and welcome back to Modern Musings. I am your host, Cindy Murray, and I am here with my co-hosts, Amber and Kristen.
Hello.
Hey.
If you're just joining us for the first time, we are three women in different walks of life with sometimes very differing opinions, and we like to come together and discuss topics of life in ways that we hope are meaningful and uplifting to all of you. And today our topic is if you could try a new hobby. Fill in the blank. We often talk on here about some of our hobbies, and we all three of us have a lot of different hobbies. Some of our hobbies are similar, like Kristen and I do a lot of paper crafting kind of things. We all three like to read. Mm-hmm. There's a lot of things like that, but there are also other things that some of us would like to do, maybe. And we talk about, sometimes we've talked about trying those other things, but I want to go a little bit deeper into some of the other things, other hobbies that we might be interested in starting and haven't yet, either because of money or time or fear or whatever. So there's a lot of different reasons why someone thinks about a different hobby and doesn't start it, and I'd like to explore that a little bit. So that brings my first question. Do either one of you have a hobby that you would like to try that you haven't yet?
Yeah, actually, and I brought all the stuff for it. Oh no, we have a couple of things because Kristen and I have a hobby that we want to do together. Gosh, because
there's always a lot. Yeah,
I know, right? Because Kristen and I have talked about.
I want to do everything.
We've talked about this on the podcast. Is jewelry making?
Yes, you
Kristen
have.
and I have both talked about doing jewelry making. That's like and we've even collected the stuff for it. We just
we both have
started
jewelry. We just don't get together and put our beads on strings together.
Yeah, actually, Kristen and I have a few things besides jewelry making. There was something else that we wanted to start doing that I can't remember that we were going to meet up and do. We were going to meet up and jewelry make, and we were going to meet up and do something else, weren't we?
Oh, I don't remember.
I don't know. We talk about a lot of stuff and meeting up and doing a lot of stuff. I guess like the specific thing that I was thinking about before I remembered the jewelry thing, which is something that I want to start doing, is junk journaling.
Ooh.
Yeah, like that's a hobby that I've been wanting to get into for a while, and I have all my stuff for it, and I'm ready.
Yeah.
Ready to start it.
I actually have started junk journaling, and I love it. I love the process of putting the books together. I love the process of journaling in the books in whatever way, either just with quotes or with actual deeper journaling thoughts and things like that. I adore that. I adore that hobby, and I've kind of incorporated a lot of that into my existing hobbies. So,
well, I've seen some videos about it on TikTok, and it's really popular on TikTok.
Yeah,
and it makes me like, I guess that's my reason. I guess TikTok. Well, I wanted to do it before, and I actually bought a book to do it in 100,000 million years ago when Kristen and I first started hanging out, because she had a book that she was junk journaling in, and we went together, and she helped me pick out a book, and I still have that book so I'm going to bring it and start. Well, I actually started it. It's just that I haven't I actually started it, I don't know, probably 20 years ago, and I just haven't picked it up.
Well, see, this is what I want to, and this goes back to the jewelry question for both of you also, because you have, since we started this podcast, mentioned the jewelry. Oh yeah, we're going to do jewelry making. Oh yeah, we're going to do jewelry making, and neither of you have even once gotten together to do jewelry making. So my question to you that follows this is why do you think you haven't started?
Because I already have so many other things I'm doing right now.
Yeah.
Right,
I mean,
right.
honestly, all my jewelry stuff is packed up in that junk room in my house that I have all of my stuff in.
So that one is I can answer that too, because making jewelry, like doing wire wrapped jewelry and things
Yeah.
like that, has been one of my things that I've wanted to do, and doing resin jewelry and things like that. And I've been collecting supplies for it for years. And actually, Kristen and I did do some resin jewelry. Oh, what, about 10, 15 or more
Something
years
like
ago?
that,
Yeah.
Yeah,
And,
that's another thing on my to-do list
so-
is resin.
So we played with it, a little bit, and it was fun. And then we never touched it again. But a lot of my supplies have been actually out in my garage. A project which I have mentioned many times. It's such a long-lasting project. It's actually become a hobby to clean out my garage. It's one of my goals, but it is a project. Yeah, Kristen's
Sounds like my
nodding her.
junk room. It's
Yeah.
turning into a hobby.
It's a hobby
It
to
is.
clean it out.
Collecting and organizing your
Collecting-
crap.
Yes,
organi-
it is.
organizing
Organizing
Actually,
crap
it's
is a
called
hobby.
tinkering. It's a real
It's
hobby.
what?
Tinkering.
Tinkering, yes.
Yeah.
So I have been tinkering by organizing my beads and jewelry making things. In fact, they're all over my dining room table right now because the little girl who lives next door, I call her a little girl. She's really not a little girl, but she's like, less than half my age. So, or about half my age. So she's a little girl. And, she likes jewelry and beads and stuff like that. And she has been dying to help me sort through my beads because she wants to get her hands on them, And so I told her I would let her help me sort them, and then she could take some stuff home. And so
Okay.
we've been working on them for about 2 weeks now. And like 2 or 3 days a week, we'll sit down for several hours and sort through this stuff, and it's still not sorted. So that tells you how much of it there is.
Yeah.
But it's very satisfying. So there's like I don't know, it's maybe a stemming stemming thing.
Organizing is very satisfying.
It is.
Yes.
And so, we washed all the beads had come from my mother's house, Ashley's house, my house. They've been sitting in the garage. They've been out in the shed. They've been collecting dust and soot and dog fur and cat fur, and not my cat, somebody else's, and all these things. And so I was like, we need to wash the beads because I am not bringing them in my house and doing all this stuff to sort them out while they've got cat hair all over them, and stuff. So we washed all the beads very painstakingly, in a sieve and soap and water, and then laid them out to dry out and the whole 9 yards. And then we started sorting each one into different colors. And then we went through all of the jewelry findings and all that. So it has become a new hobby. But I would like to finish it. The short of this long story is that is one of mine also. I would like to do some of that. But I actually have one that I would like to learn that goes along with that. And it's jewelry soldering. And let me preface this by saying when I went to college, I learned how to solder. That was 40 years ago, probably. Yeah. And I learned how to solder in my electronics classes and stuff like that. And I have not picked up a soldering iron since then. I don't know. I don't know if I could remember how to solder. It may be like riding a bicycle, but I would like to do soldering. And really, I like doing anything with jewelry, any kind of jewelry making, like the metalworking, the beads, the wrapping beads and stones with the wire, the stamping, the metal stamping. I have a whole collection of stamps. So I would like to get more involved in that. Why don't I start it? Well, for one thing, all my stuff has been out in my garage, so I wasn't organized enough. I think that's a key factor to doing a craft is to have the supplies and actually be able to find them. Um, and sometimes that's what holds you back is maybe you want to do a new hobby, but the outlay of expense is a little bit hard. So that leads me to another one that I want to do, which is I want to do things where with a laser cutter. So I've been thinking about getting a Glowforge, and I want to cut out acrylic and wood and things like that with my Glowforge. Now, what I will do with these things, because I don't really need those things, I don't know, but I think it would be a lot of fun to do that. Do you have something, Kristen, that you're...
I mean, I have, I created that craft projects
Oh,
matrix.
yes.
And when I was really like organizing my craft supplies and like identifying what unfinished projects that I had, that's when I kind of set like a boundary
Right.
on starting new projects. And that's why I haven't really touched on my jewelry making, because I want to finish the current projects that I'm in.
Right.
Instead of, going and buying more supplies for more different things.
I hear you.
But in that craft matrix, I had, I had crafts that I currently had supplies for that were unfinished.
Uh-huh.
And then I had, that I'd started but not completed. And then I had craft projects that I had the supplies for but had not started.
Mm-hmm.
And then I had a group of crafts or hobby things that were started, but I don't have all the materials to finish. So I kind of divvied everything up into those categories. And then I had one category that was no supplies, have not started.
Right.
And so
Wish
I
list.
kept everything in that category so that I wouldn't buy supplies and I wouldn't start anything new.
Until you finish some of the other ones.
Yeah. And so the first thing I put on there was rock painting, because I had seen some rocks that were painted and I thought, oh, that's kind of cool, But it does, although the supplies are minimal, it does take up space. And
Right.
And it was just like one more thing. Because, once you paint one rock, you want to paint others.
Right.
So I was like, no, don't start on those until I get some of my scrapbooks out of the way, because I had like some scrapbooks and quilts I was working on.
Right.
So, in that time too, like that one made it to the list, and that was kind of like the key point of me going, wow, okay, here's me having some restraint and honoring that boundary.
Right.
And there are some other things that I have considered, and they're maybe not necessarily like hobbies, like crafts, but just, just things to do. One of them was gardening. We've talked about that one.
Yeah.
I mean, there's the maintaining your yard, and then there's gardening.
Right.
So right now I'm not in the gardening stage of my life.
The maintaining.
Yeah, I'm barely scraping by on the maintaining. Steel tongue drum. So I did get a steel tongue drum for Christmas, and I did teach myself how to play a tune, from my head that was, like it was Wizard of Oz, somewhere over the rainbow. I figured out how to play it on the steel tongue drum. It came with music, but I don't really understand how to read the music that it comes with, because it's probably percussion. It's not
percussion
like sheet music.
notation,
So I was like, well, I don't really know if this is what this is supposed to sound like, if I'm even doing it right. So I was like, I just kind of put the directions back in the case.
Okay.
And I just free for all playing on it. But I would like to establish it more like a hobby where I learn more and have a routine of actually using it or playing the steel tongue drum. But it's just not in my time right now.
Right.
Puzzles. I love doing puzzles. And it's one of those things that like all you need is a puzzle and some space and a little bit of time.
Right.
And so I have not acquired any new puzzles. But
I can help you there.
I know, right? I want brand new ones that have,
I have those.
yeah. So that's one of the things that I said as soon as I had a dining space where
Oh, yeah.
I could
Yeah.
sacrifice the eating table
Right.
without losing, the family dining experience. So now
Right.
I actually have 2 dining tables. So as I was thinking about hobbies, it's not really a new hobby for me. That's like revamping an old hobby because I
Right.
love putting puzzles together.
Yeah.
And Scott really likes to do puzzles too.
Mhm.
So I think that would be something fun, that we can do together. It doesn't take a lot of supplies.
yeah,
or
Jason and I
skill.
do that a lot.
Yeah,
Like he
I
loves
love doing
puzzles, so we
puzzles.
put puzzles together.
Mhm.
I enjoyed doing them with my mom when she was doing
We
puzzles.
got a card table
Mhm.
for one of our first wedding gifts
Mm-hmm.
that we can like take together, and it like folds like double ways and put apart, so
Mhm.
it's really easy to do the
Nice.
puzzles.
That's
Yeah, yeah. We have the new house we're in has a nice big sunroom,
good. Mhm.
and I think that's a perfect place
Oh,
to do it
yeah,
because the
yeah.
lighting is like superb in there in the daytime.
Well, and if you're worried about it, leaving it out, there's some puzzle things like
that you can roll it
you
up,
can roll it up, yeah, which
Yeah.
is really nice.
So other things that don't necessarily take up a lot of supplies that I already have. And so they're kind of like new hobbies to me because it's not
Right.
It's really, I say new hobby because it's something I'm not skilled at.
If you're yeah.
And one of them is canning and preserving.
Oh yeah.
I've
Yeah.
always wanted to
That's
become,
on my want to do list
but
as
to
well.
me, it's not just like I'd like to try it out. Like I want to be skilled.
But
at
that would be
it.
good, to go with your garden. If you did a
Exactly.
garden, you could
Yes.
Yeah.
But you can also do canning and preserving without a garden.
Oh yes, you can. Absolutely. You can go buy and buy
Yeah.
the vegetables or fruits, right?
And so that's something I'm really interested in becoming like better at because I
Mhm.
can put something in a jar and preserve it for a little while, but
Right.
the
With the canning
terms
process.
of actually like canning something officially
Right.
and like feeling safe and confident in it
Yes,
is
yes.
a whole nother story.
Right.
And that's why I haven't started that one because I'm not very good at following rules and directions.
Nope.
I'm more of a rebel. and I
And
don't
that's
wanna
one you
give-
don't want to fudge
No,
on.
you can't play
you
around
can't.
with that.
No,
so,
you have to follow. You have to
yeah.
pressurize it for the certain length of time and blah 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 blah
Yeah.
blah.
So one of the other ones that I've been thinking about is making jerky
Oh yeah,
because I do have a
dehydrator.
dehydrator, and I love jerky and dehydrated foods as well. So I've thought about busting that out so many times, but it's one of those things like before you just bust it out and start making it, I want to research the recipes and
Mhm.
plan out my process. So similar to canning, I think it needs more research before I
Right.
actually like dive in and start. It's kind of like the difference between painting and canning is that painting I can just get a bunch of canvases and slap some paint on and improve my skills,
Right,
and be inspired, but like canning you kind of have to do it the right way.
right.
So
Yeah. Okay.
and then lastly I did have cross stitch was one of the things that I
okay.
have some cross stitch patterns and stuff and some supplies, but I don't know a thing about cross stitching, but I'd like to do like some beginner
Mhm.
cross stitching, just like learning how to make basic shapes or something
Right.
first before I go and try to do a pattern or
Right.
something. And then the last one, Amber, is the answer to the other thing because it dawned on me. It took me like a hot second
Yeah.
because I was like, no, there's some other craft project. We were going to do spooky flower making.
Oh.
Yeah, we were gonna do like flower and wreath making,
Uh-huh.
and this was inspired by the flowers that you made for my wedding
Oh, yeah.
shower.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah, the faces. Yeah, and the flowers.
Yeah,
I
this
love
was
those.
inspired. Yeah, this was inspired by those doll face flowers that you made that we were gonna get together and do like Halloween spooky crafts,
Mm-hmm.
specifically flower making.
Yeah. Y'all have to take some pictures. I think you have some pictures of those, don't you? And put them on the blog
I
or
do,
something.
yeah.
Yeah, we were gonna do that like the jewelry making and the junk journaling are two things that have been really heavy on my mind
Yeah.
that I've been wanting to try. Like Kristen had like a couple of things that that she wants to do, but she doesn't know, like it has to be further research. One thing that like I would love to pick up again is playing the piano.
Oh,
Oh.
Yeah.
I haven't really touched a piano in probably 20 years,
mm-hmm.
but I still carry my keyboard with me everywhere I go. And Jason and I were going through our our box of electronics the other day of random chords and stuff that I had, and I found the chord for it
Yay.
and the pedal for it. Now I just need to like clean it, set it up, and mess
do it.
with it.
Yeah.
I even found like my dad's old music books when we were
Oh.
going through his storage unit, and
Uh-huh.
I kept those. So now I just need to sit down and do it.
That's interesting that both of you had a musical instrument, because I was going to go through some of the things that I want to do,
Mm-hmm.
and one of them is to play the ukulele. So I played ukulele.
We're gonna
like-
start a band.
Oh,
like
weird
know,
band.
right?
Very
Yeah, a
eclectic.
weird band. Like I'm gonna get my keyboard. You're gonna get
I'll
your
do the
ukulele,
percussion.
and you're gonna get your steel drum, and we're gonna
Right.
start a band.
Right.
We just need to get Ashley
So-
on an instrument.
Right. So we had I took ukulele lessons when I was in like 4th or 5th grade. I think I was in 5th grade. And then we moved to a different school district, and I don't even know what happened to my ukulele. And I've always wanted to pick up the ukulele again. And a couple of years ago, Travis, Kristen's first husband, bought me a ukulele for Christmas. And I got it out and played it a few times, but I just didn't. There was just so much going on that I didn't have time to dedicate. And I think that's my biggest problem with all of my music, because I've played piano, I've played guitar. I'm not saying I played them well, but I played them. But the thing is that if you're going to play an instrument, you have to dedicate that time to practice. And I never have.
That was my problem with the piano. Why
Yeah.
I kind of eventually stopped playing, because I started playing the piano. Gosh, I was little. My grandmother had a piano.
Yeah, I think you've mentioned it before.
Yeah, I played the piano up, until like, a couple of years into college. And when I went off to college, when I got my first apartment, I brought my keyboard,
Mm-hmm.
and I've carried it with me all of these last 20 something years,
Right.
places that I've moved, and thinking in my mind that I'm going to start playing it again, and I just haven't.
Right. So let me stay on this little topic of the music and the musical instruments. What would you do with that skill if you could play as well as you wanted to? What would you... So, because usually playing music is not just about learning how to play it. It's like, what are you going to do with it? Are you going to...
I think that's why I don't play.
Because
My-
you don't have
my
a reason.
deep-
I
Deepest-
don't have a reason to entertain. I don't want to learn.
Yeah.
the
You just want to do
instrument.
yours to listen to it yourself.
My deepest
maybe not even that.
fantasy when it comes to music
Uh-huh.
is that I want to be in a band.
Yeah.
That's like my deepest music, darkest fantasy. Maybe not my deepest, darkest fantasy, but,
But
you know
that-
what I mean. Like,
and that probably...
it's something that, like, being a musical person and being from a musical family,
Right.
that I've wanted to be in a band. My
Right.
dad was in a band. And my whole life.
Yeah. That's some of mine as well because, I was married to a musician. I was a musician, I've always wanted that performance aspect of it. But also for me, the ukulele, it feels like one of those things. It's one of those instruments you don't have to be in a band for. You can just play as is the keyboard. You can just, put your keyboard on a piano setting and play the piano, basically. And you,
Well,
have
like
your own little
Kristen, like-
concert.
Yeah, like Kristen, I don't really like I mean, I would love to get a steel drum also.
Yeah.
And honestly, like if I got one, I'd probably sit on the couch and like bang it. Like,
Yeah.
I guess
all
that's
I'm
what
doing. I'm just banging it
yeah,
around.
like I
don't-
guess what I should do is just pull out my keyboard, and I don't have a stand for it anymore, and just set it
In your lap and play.
in my
yeah.
lap and play it.
Well,
yeah.
and my ukulele, I think of it in terms of like, and I think harmonica would be the same if I had a harmonic. Well, I do have a harmonica, but I don't know how to play it either. But to take it with me on a camping trip or something, and like if we were canoeing down the
be
Brazos,
that
like we
annoying
used to.
person on
Yeah, just playing the. Well, there's the guy in Deliverance,
Don't talk about Deliverance, please. I hate that movie.
I'm thinking more like the bard on The Witcher.
Oh,
Yeah, please don't talk about Deliverance,
But-
please.
But I still think of like sitting around the campfire singing Kumbaya too, because we have that good scouting tradition in our family as well, so there's this part of me that just wants to sit around the campfire and play songs or do a sing along or something like that. And I also, I used to write music, so it would be helpful to have an instrument that I could just write on easily. Like I said, I used to play guitar. I've played some piano as well. And I don't know, to me that I'm not very good at them, and it's kind of cumbersome for me to play them because like the guitar is really big and my hands barely go around the neck, so because I have really tiny hands. And
yeah, that's why I could never pick up the guitar.
Yeah.
Was that same reason?
well, that and until you build up good calluses, it hurts,
Yeah.
it hurts. So, but yeah. So I think that's interesting that all three of us have a musical hobby that we would like to have. But I also know that like that's one of those things that it just takes so much time. And most of the people I know that have music as a hobby, that's like one of the few things they actually do because it's so time consuming.
Exactly.
And that's where I just don't want that level of commitment to something because there are when we were talking, I said I want to do all of them. I really want to do all of the hobbies. That's it. I want to do everything. So it's hard for me to say I want to do that because
There are so many other things you want to do.
and I could do several things in the amount of
That's so
time.
funny.
That it
I
takes for
just
that.
want to do like one or two and just be really good at them.
Well, I mean, there's that too, but I keep seeing things I want to try. Like I keep seeing things for glass fusing. So where people are making jewelry and ornaments, Christmas ornaments out of fused glass. And so that looks really fun to me. So you buy a kiln to put, either you have a regular kiln or they have some that go in your microwave. I don't know how well they work, but they're available to buy, and you can fuse your glass, and make things with it. And it's another artistic endeavor for me. Now, of the not artistic things, a hobby that I would be picking back up, which I've talked about often, is hiking and geocaching because I really want to get back to that one if I could, but it's really hard for me to do that. It's so hot in the summer now, and time consuming again. So I don't know, but I like outdoor activities a lot, and I just never do any of them because I want to bike, I want to hike, I want to geocache, I want to go canoeing, which I've done, but it's not a hobby anymore because I don't do it hardly at all. So I don't know. Do you have any non-creative hobbies?
Oh, gosh. I've been wanting to get back into water aerobics. That's not really a hobby, I guess. It's just more
Well,
like
it
a
kind of
wellness.
Exercising is a hobby.
Exercising is a
Yeah,
hobby.
I've been wanting to get back into water aerobics. That's like a non-creative hobby, or just I've also, like with Kristen was talking about canning. I would also like to be more sustainable
Yeah, yeah,
and learn those practices. Like I've always wanted to like make my own lotions or make my own sugar scrubs, make my own candles,
Yeah.
stuff that to be less commercial, I
yeah,
suppose.
yeah. I like
That
and
would
I've
be
done
a
some of
good,
those,
like,
but
a hobby.
not. Yeah, maybe.
Not really gardening, but like I'd like to just get to the point where I'm maintaining.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
Yeah, so I'd like to finally publish a novel.
Yeah.
Get back into like really seriously poetry writing.
Uh-huh.
Okay, I guess that's creative. We're talking about non-creative.
Well, I mean, you can keep talking about creative too. I'm just trying to branch us out of.
Yeah, definitely like expand my cooking even to expand beyond what I know how to do. But I think like the big thing would be water aerobics, getting back into that. That would be like my big thing.
Cool. And Kristen, did you list all of yours?
Yeah, the only other one that I hadn't listened was
Listed.
listed was sign language.
Oh yes.
Oh, that's
There's
another
a story,
like.
there's a story behind that one too. So Kristen and I had what was it?
Popular Science.
Popular Science or somebody had a thing where you could. Was it an app that you downloaded or just a lesson? It was lessons, wasn't it?
Yeah.
It was a free class in American Sign Language. And so we just like signed up and downloaded or whatever, signed up for it. I couldn't even tell you. I'd have to go look to see how to log in, how to get to it, if it's even still available.
Yeah, we jumped on it because it wasn't actually free. It was like $19.99.
Oh, maybe it was, but
like
it was a language
steeply
class.
discounted.
Yes.
Language course, not just like doing Duolingo, but like actually taking a
language course. Yeah.
And it was really affordable because it was at the beginning of the year. But it was already like I had already set my goals for the year, and sign language wasn't one of them. But it was one of those things where you could sign up for it and then
start it whenever you want.
You want. But the problem is I just haven't actually like done the courses.
Was that before COVID?
No,
it was after COVID.
Yeah.
Okay, I couldn't remember. I just know it was a long time ago.
Yeah, it was like 4 years ago.
Oh yeah. So yeah, I did have on my hobbies was to learn Spanish too, and I started that in Duolingo. And then when I got ready to go to Paris, I promptly quit doing any Spanish and moved over to French. So I would like to do Spanish and French and be trilingual, I guess would be the proper term there. But
I guess well, I'm pretty good with like Spanish. I just need to work on more of like my translation skills in my head. I guess another non-creative hobby that I would love, I guess it's kind of creative. I would love to get into, like, I would love to get a telescope.
Oh yes,
and like actually go to like some star parties and stargazing in dark sky areas.
Yeah. That's a lot of fun.
That's always been like something that, and then I want to get a better, well gosh, now you can take really good pictures, but I want to get a camera that you can like take really good pictures through a telescope
Oh, right.
of the sky.
Right.
That's it. And so that's kind of a creative hobby.
Yeah.
But
It's
the
also a scientific hobby.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I want to do definitely like more of the stargazing and then like
Right.
the research and
Yeah.
stuff like that.
I've always enjoyed that too, and thought it would be fun to do that more often. And I
then
haven't.
nature photography or like photography in general, more of that. Go hiking and do like more nature photography, which I recently got back from New Orleans, and my husband and I did go hiking a little bit into the bayou, and we did some nature photography while we were there.
That's
so
fun. Yeah. I like that too. I love any kind of photography, and like I said earlier, I like doing things in the outdoors. So I have a lot of hobbies that I'd like to do that are kind of tied to the outdoors, like the biking, the hiking, the photography. I don't know. I keep telling myself I have all these hobbies and I don't have the time for them, but I sometimes wonder if there's other things that I spend time on that I could eliminate in order to make time for those other things. And I'm not sure how to go about that always, but like y'all were talking about canning and gardening. I have had gardens in the past. I have done some canning in the past. I would love to do more of that. And I would love to sew more of my own clothes. You know, you're talking about that sustainable thing. And I have a lot of hobbies that I work on, but I have to put them aside in order to maintain the other hobbies that I have. So it's, you know, I wind up spending a lot of time focused on one or two hobbies, and I don't have time to pay attention to the others. So I like whittling. I've done it once or twice, but I don't really consider it a hobby, but it would be fun to know how to do it well. And I like macrame and things like that. I've done, but I don't really necessarily do them well. I want to do everything. I said that already, but I like studying nature, not just like it goes with the photography. I would photograph nature or whatever, and studying the different nature and studying the stars, studying the insects or butterflies or bird watching. Bird watching is one I think would be a lot of fun, going out and just trying to identify as many different birds as I could or something like that. I think that would be a lot of fun. So if you wanted to revive one of your old hobbies, what hobby do you think you would revive that you've done before? Which one would you most like to revive?
Baking, getting back into baking.
Yeah.
I mean, I still bake. I still do like experiment, like the black velvet cake I made for my husband for his birthday. And I want to get back into like doing stuff like that.
Right.
But just and I'm ready. Like it's that time. Like I'm always finding excuses. It's just, cooking and baking haven't held that magic for me since my mom died.
Right.
And now, especially since my grandma has passed, but I really want to get back into it.
Mm-hmm.
Just because I was good at it. I was really good at baking. I was selling my stuff and making stuff for bake sales and stuff like that. So that would be a hobby that I'd really like to get back into doing.
Okay. Okay. What about you, Kristen?
For me, I'm thinking the puzzles. Doing
Uh-huh.
puzzles is
Mhm.
the one that strikes the most interest to me because it's not as demanding
Uh-huh.
of anything except a little bit of space and time.
Uh-huh.
So, the only thing I'm missing is a puzzle.
Ah.
So, I think for that one, I can do that one without it taking over time that I would otherwise be doing other things, because
Right.
the only thing it would really replace would be like watching TV
Uh-huh.
or something like
Which
that.
actually, if you're doing puzzles,
You can do them at
do
the
that
same time.
Right.
Exactly. So
Right.
I don't feel like it is going to pull me away, because right now I feel like my time is already very sparse.
Uh-huh.
So that would be something nice to add in that's leisurely
Right,
and
right.
relaxing.
Well, Kristen, we could also start doing that jewelry and watch TV at the same time as
Right.
well.
I don't know. We were doing diamond dots last night, and we
I
weren't
got
doing
like
a lot
3
of.
diamonds.
Yeah, we weren't doing very many diamonds. So, all right. Well, I really have no follow ups to that, except I mean, I guess the lesson is that, are the things you're doing really so important that you don't have time for those hobbies? Sometimes we kill a lot of time. So we think we don't have time, right? I don't have time for another hobby. But how much time do we spend wasting time, on things that aren't our hobbies? And we're just killing that time, watching TV, or, not because we're actively watching a show that we love, but just kind of flipping through the channels to see what's on, kind of watching TV, watching just because the TV is on, or scrolling on our phones, just scrolling and scrolling and scrolling. Things like that. Are there things that we do because we think we're supposed to do them,
Mm-hmm.
and we don't really care about them, and maybe if we eliminated them, we would have more time for hobbies. Those are all things to think about, and I don't know the answers. I think everybody's answer is different, to reevaluate what you do with your time and see if there is time to sneak in one more hobby, or finish the list of hobbies you're already working on so that you can get over to that list of new hobbies and try new things,
Yeah.
because you might find the one that you love even more. So,
Very true. Very
Yeah.
true.
so what are we talking about next week, Amber?
Next week, we are talking about Banned Books Week, and I'm
Ooh.
pretty excited. I mean, it's a very hot topic right now, especially in education with
Oh,
all of
yeah.
the book banning that's going on. So
Right.
I'm pretty excited to talk about banned books.
I am too.
And as I'm always excited to talk about books.
Okay. That's that. I'm looking forward to that one. Okay. That's it for this week. We thank you for sticking with us and listening to our hobbies discussion. And we hope that maybe you start thinking about some of your hobbies, and maybe
Mhm.
it's kindle an interest in picking one of them up again or trying something new. And we will be back next week with a new podcast on banned books.
Yeah, so come back and listen to us talk about books.
Right. And you can leave us a comment or subscribe, all that kind of stuff over on our website at modernmusings.net, or our Facebook group, MMC Chat. We'll see you next week.
Bye.
Bye.